Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Aditya Gadadhara Srinivas Adi Gaura Bhaktavinda.
Radeshapru, would you like to do the Prema Devani? Saraswati Maharshi, would you like to do the Prema Devani? Bye.
Yes, just a second. Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vande Om Shri Guru Shri Yutapata Kamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatanvitam Stam Sajivam Sadvetam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Prishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Harihi Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripya sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Welcome everybody to Srimad Bhagavatam with His Holiness Jayādvaita Swami and friends. It is Wednesday, August 13th, 2025. Today, I don't see it in the chat yesterday. Is it 29 today? Is that right? I lost track because yesterday I didn't put it in the chat.
Yes, it is 20.29.
Okay.
If I'm correct, yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Also, His Holiness Jayādvaita Swami is teaching a class tonight at 26 2nd Avenue in New York City, so that's why he's not here. Radesha Haru, are you available to start us off, any chance? Or Saraswati Maharshi, would you like to?
Okay. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Text 29. Bhajanti atha tvam atha eva sadvo vyodasta maya guna vipramodayam Pavata padannusmarannadadrit satam nimitam anyad bhagavana vidmaha. Translation: Great saintly persons who are always liberated take to your devotional service, because only by devotional service can one be relieved from the illusions of material existence. O my Lord, there is no reason for the liberated souls to take shelter at the lotus feet, except that such just a second. Oh my Lord, there is no reason for the liberated souls to take shelter at your lotus feet, except that such souls are constantly thinking of your feet. Purport: the karmis are generally engaged in fruitive activities for material bodily comforts. The jnanis, however, are disgusted with searching after material comforts. They understand that they have nothing to do with this material world, being spiritual souls. After self-realization, the jnanis who are actually mature in their knowledge must surrender onto the lotus feet of the Lord. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, Bahunam Janmanam Ante, self-realization is not complete unless one comes to the devotional platform. Therefore, it is stated in the Srimad Bhagavatam that those who are Atmaram, self-satisfied, are freed from all contaminations of the material modes of nature. As long as one is affected by the modes of material nature, especially by Rajas and Tamas, he will be very greedy and lusty, and will therefore engage in hard tasks, laboring all day and night. Such false egoism carries one from one species of life into another perpetually, and there is no rest in any species of life. The jnani understands this fact and therefore ceases to work and takes to karma sannyas. Yet, this is not actually the platform of satisfaction. After self-realization, the material wisdom of the jnani leads him to the shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord. Then he is satisfied only in contemplating the lotus feet of the Lord constantly. Prithu Maharaj therefore concluded that liberated persons taking to the devotional path have acquired the ultimate goal of life. If liberation were the end in itself, there would be no question of a liberated persons taking to devotional service. In other words, the transcendental bliss derived from self-realization, known as Atmanand, is very insignificant in the presence of the bliss derived from devotional service to the lotus feet of the Lord. Prithu Maharaj therefore concluded that he would simply hear of the glories of the Lord constantly, and thus engage his mind upon the lotus feet of the Lord. That is the highest perfection of life. Om Gyananti Mirindasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshuran Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. So Srila Prabhupada is telling us what the ultimate and the highest treasure that one can attain is devotional service to the lotus feet of the Lord. And there's a saying, Save Man Krishna Padaravinda, meditate always on the lotus feet of the Lord. And the transcendental bliss that one derives from this cannot be matched by any other bliss that that a liberated soul who's a jnani, who understands that he is not this material body, but he is a spirit soul, aham brahmasmi. He has that realization. He's not attached to anything material. But until he actually understands that the constitutional position of a jiva tattva is to serve the lotus feet of Lord Krishna, his realization is still incomplete. But yes, he is situated on the Brahma Bhuta platform because he has realized that he is a spirit soul. But Srila Prabhupada is making it very clear that full realization Full and complete self-realization means to know and be convinced completely and be engaged in serving the lotus feet of the Lord. Here it's indicated how Prithu Maharaj is simply asking that he could forever hear about the glories of the Lord. And of course, that's one of the 9 processes of devotional service, which always starts with Shravanam Kirtanam. First, you hear about the glories of the Lord. And when you have heard correctly, then you are in a position where you can then recite all the glories of the Lord that you have heard. Kirtanam. And of course, then there are other processes from the 9 processes of devotional service. And well, Srila Prabhupada lets us know that those who are completely immersed in the lower modes of nature, namely the Rajo and Tamo, modes of passion and ignorance, their personality will then be seen in the way that their acts are always geared towards being very greedy and very lusty, and they'll just simply be engaged in laboring all day and night and thinking that's the be-all and end-all. I'm always struck by when Srila Prabhupada repeatedly says how people that are engaged in just simply eating, sleeping, mating, and defending are no better than animals. And he always compares them to the ass, who works so hard, carrying so much burden, and for what? A couple of morsels of grass, which he could actually get anywhere else. It's not that he has to only get those couple of morsels from the washerman or the owner. And Srila Prabhupada points out how foolish is that animal, that he can't get it, that day and night he's laboring, and for what? Just a few morsels of grass that he can actually get that anywhere else without carrying all this load. So we know that there is a struggle for survival, there's a struggle for existence, and there's a saying, survival of the fittest. In the material world, there is no fit. There's no one that is the fittest, because as long as you are engaged in activities that are dictated by the modes of material nature, there is no survival, actual survival. And what was I thinking? Yeah, so I was listening to a class by Srila Prabhupada where he talked about what actually is our eternal occupation and what actually constitutes real dharma, real religion, because we know that there are so many different isms, this ism and Hinduism, and this is, people following this religion or that. But Srila Prabhupada points out that the actual, real, eternal religion is Sat Dharma, which means that you're always rendering loving devotional service to Krishna. And Srila Prabhupada points out that anything other than that is actually Asat Dharma, because it's a temporary form of faith or religion. It's not putting you into your eternal occupational engagement. And Srila Prabhupada said real human life actually starts from Sat Dharma, Nija Dharma. When you're situated in that, then that's the point at which human life starts. And anything else, you're not really engaged in the duties of a human being. You're more or less sort of on the animalistic platform. So what else was I thinking? Well, of course, Srila Prithu Maharaj has completely concluded exactly what it is that is the highest truth that one can attain in devotional, which is devotional service. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Saraswati Maharaj. Radesha Prabhu, are you available to read the next text?
I'm on the road, Prabhu. I'm just listening.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Okay, Donna K writes, Haribo friends, I finally got the login code for the class. I will only be listening today. Thank you so much. Thank you, Donna. Okay. Dave Platzer Prabhu, would you like to read the next text? We just read 29, and now we are on text 30. Okay. How about Barnali? Would you like to read?
I've never read, but I can try.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I've never read Sanskrit. But okay. Text 20.30. Manye griham te jagatam vimohinim varam vrishveti bhajatam atta yat vaka nu tantya yadi I jano sita kadam punam karma karoti mahitam. Okay, translation. My dear Lord, what you have said to your unalloyed devotee is certainly very much bewildering. The allurement you offer in the Vedas are certainly not suitable for pure devotees. People in general, bound by the sweet words of the Vedas, engage themselves again and again in fruitive activities and enamored by the results of their action. Purport. Sila Narottam Thakur, Dasa Thakur, a great acharya of the Gaudiya Sampradaya, have said that persons who are very much attached to the fruitive activities of the Vedas, namely Karma Kanda and Jnana Kanda, are certainly doomed by the Vedas. There are three categories of activities certainly doomed. In the Vedas, there are three categories of activities known as Karma Kanda, fruitive activities, Jnana Kanda, philosophical research, and Upasana Kanda, worship of different demigods for receiving many material benefits. Those who are engaged in Karma Kanda and Jnana Kanda are doomed in the sense that everyone is doomed who is entrapped by this material body, whether it is a body of a demigod, a king, a lower animal, or whatever. The sufferings of the threefold miseries of material nature are the same for all. Cultivation of knowledge to understand one's spiritual position is also, to a certain extent, a waste of time. Because the living entity is an eternal part and parcel of the Supreme Lord, his intermediate business is to his immediate business is to engage himself in devotional service. Prithu Maharaj therefore says that the allurement of material benedictions is another trap to entangle one in this material world. He therefore frankly tells that the Lord that the Lord's offering of benedictions in the form of material facilities are certainly causes of bewilderment. A pure devotee is not at all interested in bhukti or mukti. The Lord sometimes offers benedictions to the neophyte devotees who have not yet understood that material facilities will not make them happy. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, the Lord therefore says that a sincere devotee who is not very intelligent may ask some material benefits from the Lord. But the Lord, being omniscient, does not generally give material rewards, but on the contrary, takes away whatever material facilities are being enjoyed by his devotee, so that ultimately the devotee will be completely surrendered unto him. In other words, the offerings of benedictions to the form of material profit is never auspicious for the devotee. The statements of the Vedas, which offers elevation to the heavenly planets in exchange for great sacrifices, are simply bewildering. Therefore, in Bhagavad Gita, the Lord says, Yam imam purushottam vaikam pravadanti abhi paschat, the less intelligent class of men Abhipaschata, attracted by the flowery language of the Vedas, engage in fruitive activities to become materially benefited. Thus, they continue life after life in different body forms to search very, very hard. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Bernali. Okay, would someone like to volunteer to read? Otherwise, I will continue. Oh, we have, okay. Oh, yeah, we have some other people. I'm also not familiar with the Sanskrit. Okay, Vaidehi, would you like to read? Now we're on 31.
Tava Mayada Jana Isa Kanditu Vyar Anyar Asyasta Vitatmano Buddha Yata Pyar Bala Itam Pita Sivayam Tatya Divam Ivesvina Samit Idam. My Lord, due to your illusionary energy, all living beings in this material world have forgotten their real constitutional position, and out of ignorance, they are always desirous of material happiness in the form of society, friendship, and love. Therefore, please do not ask me to take some material benefits from you, but as a father not waiting for the son's demand, does everything for the benefit of the son. Please bestow upon me whatever you think best for me. Purport. It is the duty of the son to depend upon his father without asking anything from him. The good son has faith that the father knows best how to benefit him. Similarly, a pure devotee does not ask anything from the Lord for material benefit, nor does he ask anything for spiritual benefit. The pure devotee is fully surrendered unto the lotus feet of the Lord, and the Lord takes charge of him. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, Aham Tivam Sarva Papebhyo Mukshayasami. The Father knows the necessities of the Son and supplies them, and the Supreme Lord knows the necessity of the living entities and supplies them sumptuously. Therefore, the Isopanishad stated that everything in this material world is complete. Purnam idam. The difficulty is that due to forgetfulness, the living entity create unnecessary demand and entangle themselves in material activities. The result is that there is no end to material activities. Life after life. Before us, there are varieties of living entities, and everyone is entangled in transmigrations and activities. Our duty is simply to surrender unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead and let Him take charge, for He knows what is good for us. Prithu Maharaj therefore tells the Lord that as the Supreme Father, He may elect to bestow whatever He considers beneficial for Prithu Maharaj. That is the perfect position of the living entity. Therefore, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu teaches us in his Siksaka Nadi Anam Na Janam Na Sundaram Kavitam Bajagad Isakamai Mama Janmanisvi Bhavatar Bhakir I Kivai. O Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor have I any desire to enjoy beautiful women, nor do I want any number of followers. I only want your causeless devotional service in my life, birth after birth. The conclusion is that the pure devotee should not aspire after any material benefit from devotional service, nor should he be enormed by fruitive activities or philosophical speculations. He should always be engaged favorably in the service of the Lord. That is the highest perfection of life.
Thank you, Vedehi Mataji. Welcome to Sati Devidasi Mataji. Would you like to read our next text? We just read 31. Now we're on 32. No problem. Natalia Mataji, would you like to read? Okay, no problem. I will read. Now text 32. Atreya uvacha iti adi rajena nuta sa visvadrik tam aha rajan mai bhaktir astute distyadrishi dir mai te krita yaya mayam madhyam tarati sma tustya jam. Okay. Translation. The great sage Maitreya continued by saying that the Lord, the seer of the universe, after hearing Prithu Maharaj's prayer, addressed the king. My dear king, may you always be blessed by engaging in my devotional service. Only by such purity of purpose as you yourself very intelligently express can one cross over the insurmountable illusory energy of Maya. Purport. This is also confirmed in Bhagavad Gita, wherein the Lord claims that the illusory energy is insurmountable. No one can transcend the illusory energy of Maya by fruitive activity, speculative philosophy, or mystic yoga. The only means for transcending illusory energy is devotional service, as the Lord himself states, Mam eva ye prapadyante mayam etam taranti te. Bhagavad Gita 7:14. If one wants to cross over the ocean of material existence, there is no alternative than to take to devotional service. A devotee, therefore, should not care for any material position, whether in heaven or in hell. A pure devotee should always engage in the service of the Lord, for that is his real occupation. Simply by sticking to that position, one can overcome the stringent laws of material nature. Om Jnana Jananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmitamina Tasmai Shri Gurve Namaha. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Buddhasa Jayādvaita Swami Tinamine. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Tinamine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Prasharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschata Dosatarine. Okay, so here Maitreya, the great sage, said, the Lord said something about what the Lord said to Prithu Maharaj. And here it's described how no one can transcend the illusory energy of Maya by fruitive activity, speculative philosophy, or mystic yoga, but instead the only means for transcending the illusory energy is devotional service. And there's a quote, I can't remember where it's from. I think maybe Praveen Prabhu or others might know it. It's that that the material world becomes like water in the footprint of a calf when one surrenders to the Lord, that it becomes very easy to cross over when we surrender. It's there in Krishna book somewhere. I read that. Another thing that is relevant here is that those who take to the mystic yoga or speculative philosophy path with an idea of becoming one with the Lord or merging into the Lord, they don't actually cross over the illusory energy because they have a misconception that they are one with the Lord, and they don't yet have the understanding that they are the eternal servant of Krishna. So they then have to come back to the material world if they aren't fortunate to have the association of devotees. Okay. Tvai ambujak sakila satvadami sama dina veshita chitta sake pada potena mahat kritena kurvanti govatsa padam bhavadim. O lotus-eyed Lord, by concentrating one's meditation on your lotus feet, which are the reservoir of all existence, and by accepting those lotus feet as the boat by which to cross the ocean of nescience, one follows in the footsteps of Mahajans, great sages and devotees. By this simple process, one can cross the ocean of nescience as easily as one steps over the hoofprint of a calf. Thank you for being Prabhu. Something else that comes to mind is the 12th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, where Krishna describes the impersonalist path as very difficult and not recommended, whereas the path of devotional service is simple sublime, and one can cross the ocean of nescience as easily as one steps over the hoofprint of a calf. Thank you for being Prabhu. Now we can circle back to Sarasvati Mataji if you're able to read the next text.
33. Tattvam kuru mayadishtam apramatta prajapte madadesha karo lokaha sarvatrapnoti shobhanam. Translation. My dear king, O protector of the citizens, henceforward be very careful to execute my orders and not be misled by anything. Anyone who lives in that way, simply carrying out my orders faithfully, will always find good fortune all over the world. Purport. The sum and substance of religious life is to execute the orders of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and one who does so is perfectly religious. In Bhagavad Gita 18.65, the Supreme Lord Krishna says, Manmana bhav madabhakto. Just think of me always and become my devotee. Furthermore, the Lord says, Sarvadharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja. Just give up all kinds of material engagement and simply surrender unto me. Bhagavad Gita 18.66. This is the primary principle of religion. Anyone who directly executes such an order from the personality of Godhead is actually a religious person. Others are described as pretenders, for there are many activities going on throughout the world in the name of religion, which are not actually religious. For one who executes the order of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, however, there is only good fortune throughout the world. So the Lord has indicated to Maharaj Prithu that simply by carrying out his orders without any duplicity will bring about good fortune for everyone. And he's addressing Maharaj Prithu as the protector of the citizens because, well, after reading everything about Maharaj Prithu's appearance and his activities, we know that he is the ideal ruler and he is the perfect person to protect all the citizens, praja, which includes animals, plants, trees, all the jiva tattvas that were under his care. It's not that he is only on the lookout for those who are human beings and be ignorant about respecting all the other life forms in ways such as sanctioning wholesale slaughter of animals just to satisfy the palate. So that's not the sort of king that would make an ideal ruler. And I was listening to something that Srila Prabhupada was saying, which I found really interesting. He was talking about brain substance because Srila Prabhupada was saying, yes, there is, depending on your past karma, you may be in a body that has a high IQ, brain substance, and also contrary to that, there could be jiva tattvas that are embodied in a material bodily form that has very little consciousness, for those that are in an animal form, like their consciousness is so stunted that all that they can endeavor for or understand is, where is food, anamaya. And then there are others that are slightly more developed, and their consciousness extends and expands as far as being able to understand, oh, here is danger, I have to defend myself. Pranamaya, and then human beings, they're actually supposed to develop their consciousness to the highest degree because they do have the brain substance. They may not have the IQ of Einstein, but they definitely have enough intellectual ability to understand that I can serve Krishna. He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and that is my actual position, is to engage in loving devotional service, not that you do it begrudgingly, although albeit in the beginning we may be doing that. But the fact is that everyone has enough brain substance and intellectual ability and skills that they can make that distinction between what is Jiva Tattva, what are we? We are a spirit soul. What is our engagement? What is our duty? Why are we suffering? They can discern all of these things if they're ready to actually ask that question. And so Srila Prabhupada said, yes, all right, you may not have the IQ of Einstein, so that's all right. That's not an excuse then to say, oh, well, I can't understand things to the degree that Einstein could. Well, Einstein was mostly concerned with material science. So there is no such excuse. And I wanted to share something which I may have shared before, and excuse me if I'm just repeating myself, but I found something so interesting and it really touched my heart. I was listening to an interview where this lady who had been so neglected as a child, because she grew up in a household where her parents were drug addicts, and there was, of course, complete neglect and abuse in that form. And when her drug addicted mother, there were times when she would come out of rehab and have some form of lucidity. She wasn't under the influence of the drug and so high that she couldn't understand what was going on. But her daughter took care of her very lovingly. So in this interview, she was asked this question: why are you taking such good care of your drug addicted mother who did nothing but neglect you as a child, complete derogation of her duties? Why are you taking care of her? So the answer was that, well, there were times when my mother was lucid enough and she could express love to me. Most of the time she wasn't. But she said, I never forgot that my mother actually really loves me. I never forget that. I never forgot it and I never forget that. And therefore taking care of her is very natural. And the reason I'm relating all of this is because it touched my heart, because I automatically thought, that's Krishna. Why does he take care of us? Why is he maintaining us when, well, I can only speak for myself, when I'm so forgetful, I'm so ungrateful that I don't willingly and lovingly 24/7 engage in his devotional service? Why is he maintaining me? I'm not worth anything because I'm not engaging in anything that I am meant to be engaged in. And then the answer came to me is because Krishna knows that deep down, all of us have this intense, undying, unending love for him. It's just buried so deeply right now, but he's maintaining us because he knows we have this love for him, and it's a matter of time and space for, I'm hoping for me anyway, when I can uncover all of these anarthas, get rid of them, and then this love can come to the surface and I can express it perfectly. So that interview actually really touched my heart, and thank you for allowing me to share this. Hare Krishna.
Thank you for sharing that, Saraswati Mataji. Now we have Pratipurna Madhavi Mataji joining us. Would you like to read? We're now, let's see, we just read 33 and now we're on 34. I'll send the link.
4:20:34 project.
Yeah.
Okay, let me open it. Netre Vajam Iti Vense Rajashine Prati Nandyarthavat Vachanam Puchito Anubihi Venam Gantum Chakre Achyuto Matem. Translation. The great saint Mitra told Vidura, the Supreme Personality of Godhead amply appreciated the meaningful prayers of Maharaj Prithu. Thus, after being properly worshipped by the king, the Lord blessed him and decided to depart. Purport. Most important in this verse are the words Prati Nandyartha Vacha, which indicate that the Lord appreciated the very meaningful prayers of the king. When a devotee prays to the Lord, it is not to ask for material benefits, but to ask the Lord for his favor. He prays that he may be engaged in the service of the Lord's lotus feet birth after birth. Lord Chaitanya therefore uses the words Mam Janmani Janmani, which mean birth after birth, because a devotee is not even interested in stopping the repetition of birth. The Lord and the devotee appear in this material world birth after birth, but such births are transcendental. In the fourth chapter of Bhagavad Gita, the Lord informed Arjun that he and Arjun had undergone many, many births previously, but the Lord remembered everything about them, whereas Arjuna had forgotten. The Lord and his confidential devotees appear many times to fulfill the Lord's mission. But since such births are transcendental, they are not accompanied by the miserable conditions of material birth, and they are therefore called divya, transcendental. One must understand the transcendental birth of the Lord and the devotee. The purpose of the Lord's taking birth is to establish devotional service, which is the perfect system of religion, and the purpose of the birth of a devotee is to broadcast the same system of religion or the bhakti cult all over the world. Prithu Maharaj was an incarnation of the power of the Lord to spread the bhakti cult, and the Lord blessed him to remain fixed in his position. Thus, when the king refused to accept any material benediction, the Lord appreciated that refusal very much. Another significant word in this verse is Achyut, which means infallible. Although the Lord appears in this material world, he is never to be considered one of the conditioned souls who are all fallible. When the Lord appears, he remains in his spiritual position, uncontaminated by the modes of material nature. And therefore, in Bhagavad Gita, the Lord expresses the quality of his appearance as Atma Maya, performed by internal potency. The Lord, being infallible, is not forced by material nature to take birth in this material world. He appears in order to re-establish the perfect order of religious principles and to vanquish the demonic influence in human society. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. So from the purport, and despite the thing of the various incarnations of the Lord, he came to establish the religion, which is pure devotional service to the Lord. Like Lord Vamandev also appeared upon the prayers of Aditi because Bali Maharaj had created some disturbance by occupying the heavenly planets, and thus the devtas were forced to hide themselves out of fear, and they were all defeated by Bali Maharaj. So Lord Vamandev had appeared, and he glorified his devotee, and he also re-established their kingdom. Also, Lord Nrsimhadev appeared, and when he appeared, he gave some benedictions to Prahlad Maharaj. But Prahlad Maharaj, when he was giving benedictions to Prahlad Maharaj said, there is a verse in Srimad Bhagavatam which I was actually reading recently. Shri Prahlad Vacha Samam Pralobhayopatya Sattam Kameshu Taivare Tatsangabhito Nirvindo Namakshasvam Upashritamam. My Prahlad Maharaj said, My dear Lord, O Supreme Personality of Godhead, because I was born in an atheistic family, I am naturally attached to material enjoyment. Therefore, kindly do not tempt me with these illusions. I am very much afraid of material conditions and I desire to be liberated from materialistic life. It is for this reason that I have taken shelter of your lotus feet. And so Prahlad Maharaj is saying, kindly do not tempt me with these illusions. So a pure devotee is not, he does not need the material benefits out of worshipping the Lord. He just wants pure devotional service. So when Lord's pure devotees come, they engage others in pure devotional service. So it is also mentioned of different pure devotees in our recent times for Sri Prabhupada, how he preached the Bhakti 12, and then also it is mentioned how the general public under those spiritual leaders, they are always peaceful and self-satisfied. Like under King Yudhishthir, when Krishna established the kingdom of Pandavas, also under Prahlad Maharaj, under Dhruv Maharaj. So such pure devotees are very much important to maintain the order of the society because they engage others in pure devotional service, and it is Supreme Lord um, who incarnates to actually establish his pure devotees in those leadership positions. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Okay, okay. We can pause here for Kirtan. Saraswati Mashji, are you available for Kirtan?
Yes.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Hari Bol.
You can lead the Prema Vani, I think that's what we call it.
Jai Om Vishnupad Paramhansa Parivrajkacharya Stor Srimad A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramhansa Parivrajkacharya Stor Srimad Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Anand Koti Vaishnavrind Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda
More introductions.
Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gop Gopinath Sham Kund Radha Kund Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Shri Jagannath Mayapur Dham Ki Jai. श्री गंगा मैया की जय, श्री जमुना मैया की जय, श्री भक्ति देवी की जय, श्री तुलसी महारानी की जय, श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय, ब्रुद मृदंगा की जय, इस्कॉन फाउंडर आचार्य हिज डिवाइन ग्रेस A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada की जय. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna, Gaura Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. His Holiness Jayādvaita Maharaj Shri ki jay. Hare Krishna.
Jai. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Saraswati Mataji, for leading Kirtan. And we will see you all Thursday, tomorrow, for Chaitanya Charitamrita. And I think His Holiness Jayādvaita Maharaj will be joining us tomorrow. Okay. Hare Krishna. Thank you.